So that'll probably give Luton the confidence to go and beat us at Old Trafford next week. We've got them next Saturday. They're bound to beat some big team. Even if they get relegated this season, you'd say that they're bound to beat someone.
Honestly, if Luton beat United, it's got... I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I was going to say that's it for Ten Hag, but I don't want to say get Ten Hag sacked. I don't want to say that.
No, we by no means believe that anyway. And everything we talked about Ten Hag is what we think will happen. It's got nothing to do with our.
We'd love for him to stay this season, even if he had a bad season this season. We'd still love for him to stay. Get some more. I sound like Gary Neville here. Get some more players in, but like start making it your team. Like do what Arteta did. He started getting it making his team.
This is maybe a controversial one now. So this will be our official
Actually, I say make it your team, but he brought Anthony in and that was shit.
I was going to say this is our official move now from Liverpool ending to our United coverage now.
Oh, okay.
But I'll ask you that question because I've changed my opinion on this over probably the last couple of weeks. I think that for the most part is his team, and I'll give the benefit of the doubt that he hasn't had them all available at the same time.
He hasn't. Let's be honest, he hasn't had his team this season yet.
If we hypothetically look at what you would expect the first 11 to be, and I know we did a little bit something similar to this last week where we pick our personal ones, but from front to back, first 11, if he has them for a big game, about half of them are his now, his signings. He signed the goalkeeper. He signed Casemiro and Martinez.
Yeah.
He signed Amrabat. He signed Malacia. He signed Mason Mount. He signed Anthony Eriksson, Højlund.
Yeah, isn't it?
He could make an 11 where more than 50% of the players are his signings.
Yeah.
And I know
he hasn't had them all available. No. We know that.
And you're going into a world there where you can't get all them in one team anyway. So, I'm forcing the numbers a bit. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But people say he's not completely been able to make that team his own yet and make the changes he wants. I think he's made a lot of signings that are his signings. And you look at the effect that some of them have is just nowhere near good enough.
No.
Anthony being one of the bigger examples, you'd have to say just because of the price tag. And we've needed a right winger forever. And everyone we sign is a flop.
He's got some obsession with it has to have a left-footed right winger.
But he is so left-footed.
Yeah.
Like, as well, like
They've gone to the extreme there, haven't they?
His other leg could be cut off and replaced with a prosthetic because it's just there for standing on.
Yeah.
And that might sound ridiculous, but he's got nothing there. Like, you look, I always used to think, I'm so predominantly right-footed. I've got no left foot for standing on. I can maybe make a 6-yard pass with
it. That's why you do Rabonas all the time.
I do indeed. I'll share them on the Twitter for you all to see. But, I'm not a professional footballer, but I used to look at someone like Antonio Valencia and think, Christ, this guy's been playing professionally for however long and playing at United for about 10 years, and he was so right-footed.
Mm. It makes you wonder, actually, like, why, if you're a professional footballer, why can't you use both feet?
Well, yeah, I don't think there's any excuse. No. Maybe years and years ago, but the standard and the level of athlete you have to be now to make it, I can't wrap my head around it.
No.
But that's all good and well, but you've got to somehow make it work. And for him, I think the problem is he's so ineffective most of the time that how one-dimensional he is, he stands out even more how one-dimensional he is.
Slows the play down a lot, doesn't he?
Because he ball rolls it with his left foot all the time. He don't run with the ball.
No.
Because I think he's afraid it's going to go out of play. But I think his confidence is low also. Like, I'm not making excuses for him, but I think coming back from his whole debacle out of football...
I wouldn't have thought... I was a bit shocked that he came back into the team because I wouldn't have thought after all that your head's not in the right place.
I think that's one with the manager that the manager has to do.
Yeah.
It's the manager's signing. He might have something in his contract where he gets to get so many performances, isn't the right word, appearances. Because some people have said that about Rashford, because he's been so poor. They're like, he's just got a big contract.
Yeah.
Is there a world where he's got to make X amount of appearances? Because we've not even really talked about the game in great detail yet, but obviously there's just so much stuff surrounding United at the moment, but Rashford wasn't injured. I'm not having it.
I said this to my mate. I was like, no way.
We've had all this talk about him going out on the day of the Manchester derby.
Yeah.
He's obviously then apologised to the manager. The manager said that he's made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. They seem to have drawn a line under it.
Yeah.
But I think him saying he's injured is his way of protecting Rashford, and he just didn't want to play him. That was his way of disciplining him a little bit.
Yeah, there's also the Varane issue where it seems like Ten Hag's preferring Evans over him now.
I think he's fallen out with Varane.
Yeah.
And I think this leads to, for right or wrong, he's lost the dressing room.
I think he has. You don't like to see it because the players just think that they've got too much power now.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think he has.
I think he's lost the dressing room because he's had his public display with Sancho. He had a whole thing with Cristiano that people chalked up to being a Cristiano problem. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. The handling of the David De Gea situation was horrendous, whether that was Ten Hag's fault or not. He had a part to play in it. And I'm not pointing the finger here, I'm just saying the facts as I see him.
I just don't think anyone respects him.
No, but I don't think they ever will. Unless this is where he has to. For me, if he's going to start doing things like this, he has to keep doing it, and you can't make exceptions. So he's publicly outed Sancho. For right or wrong, we won't know. I'll say he's probably in the right. From what we've seen of Sancho, from how it all transpired on social media, I'm happy to stand with the manager on that one with the information I've got. You look on the flip of it, look at the Maguire situation. Maguire got cast out of the team, never got thrown on the bus by the manager, and he got himself back in training. He waited for a chance to play. Sometimes he was good, sometimes he was bad. He never said anything badly in public. He's still at the club now, and lo and behold, he's getting some performances. That is, as much as people may or like or dislike Harry Maguire, that is how you act as a professional footballer.
Yeah.
Especially for a club like Manchester United, especially when you've been stripped of captaincy. He's never thrown his toys out the pram. He's just cracked on with his job. And I know that's a bare minimum. I'm not saying give this guy lots of credit.
That's the standard you should be doing.
Yeah,
but like no players do it anymore.
Wan-Bissaka's similar.
Yeah.
He lost his place in the team for a long time. There's people talking about his form when he wasn't having the best of times.
Never went out to the media or anything, did he?
Just goal being ruled out in the first 7 minutes for subjective offside, which is a new one. Never heard that in my life.
Yeah, I was a bit weird. I was a bit confused about that because even though Maguire sticks his foot out and goes for the ball, I don't think he's anywhere near it, and I don't think he affects the Fulham defender in getting there.
I don't think he makes any difference to the way that the game's transpiring.
No. I know actually Rio actually said, he thinks it's an offside. I was like, I don't even feel like I've got my United tinted glasses on though.
No, but this is where honestly I'm being deadly serious, and people may be joking about this and stuff, but I've watched football all my life, as have you, as of loads of people our age and older and whatever. And I don't know when I'm watching games anymore. I used to feel like I could quite adamantly say, "Oh, that's this, that's that," and you're pretty much there or thereabouts.
Yeah,
I've got quite a well-rounded approach. I feel like I'm not biased. Like, if I get my head screwed on and look at it, I'll tell you what I think. And I don't know anymore with half of these decisions what the right answer is.
No, I don't.
It's so inconsistent.
I think the refs have also said in the past that the refs, I think, have gone worse because they're getting second-guessed by VAR all the time. And I just think something as little as that didn't have any effect on the goal for me. The Fulham player weren't getting there, Maguire weren't getting there. And first VAR to take at least 2 minutes to decide if that's a goal or not, I just think that's pointless.